The protests happening today remind some people of the 1960s, especially those who marched for civil rights decades ago in St. Augustine. And tonight, On Your Side's Jessica Clark is speaking with two people who marched under the leadership of Dr. Martin Luther King.
Because I thought it would make a difference. And if it's going to make a difference, march.
Barbara Vickers remembers marching during the civil rights movement in St. Augustine with Dr. Martin Luther King's fresh instructions from a pulpit.
I do.
Yeah, well, I did march.
Thomas Jackson also remembers marching for racial equality down the streets in St. Augustine, the same ones that protesters have gone down in the last weeks.
Well, pretty much I see a mirror image of what happened back then.
Young people pushed for change then, and
Most of the young people now these days are marching.
Jackson remembers that there were classes for the demonstrators. One of those held right here at First Baptist Church in St. Augustine. Organizers would train marchers and demonstrators how to react in a nonviolent way if they were treated poorly.
And we had to use it a couple of times. I know there was one guy that was in front of me in line that just started getting beat up, and we all had to lay on top of him to keep him from getting hit too hard.
Vickers remembers people throwing rocks at her as she marched.
And I felt a brick go by, zoom. Yeah, and that one missed me, and I'm thinking the next was going to hit me. But I marched to it and didn't get hit.
She and Jackson believe the protests now can help change the dynamic between police and people of color.
It's about time that something had to fester and had to happen.
Vickers says a move toward racial equality can result from these demonstrations.
But they have to do it peacefully. If they don't, it won't make any difference.
In St. Augustine, Jessica Clark, First Coast News, On Your Side.